Welcome to Be Megnetic, where passion, connection, and authenticity intersect. I'm Megan, and I believe that the stories behind the pursuit of our passions are sometimes more inspiring than the passions themselves. In today's episode, I sit down with A-list hairstylist and co-owner of Rose Salon Los Angeles, Anthony Holguin. I've had the pleasure of knowing Anthony now for about 4 years, and we've worked together on so many different projects and video shoots. And his relentless work ethic and ability to connect with his clients has been something that has always impressed me. This conversation is quite fun because he actually cuts and styles my hair while we're on a cruise ship for work. We discuss everything from his humble beginnings in Bakersfield, California, to his wild and crazy jet-setting life as a celebrity hairstylist. If you've ever wanted to have the kind of career that Anthony has created for himself, I hope this inspires you. And as always, if you find value, please like, subscribe, and share. Now, to my conversation with Anthony.
Hey,
Anthony, thank
already.
you so much
Hi,
for...
sir.
Hi. Hello.
Oh.
So, Anthony and I have known each other now for how long?
6, 5,
No, not that
longer.
long.
Wow.
It feels like a long time, but I think it's only been,
2021.
4 years? And we have just become besties. But in all honesty, like, you're so much fun to work with and I love you. And I'm just so grateful that we met and you're like a brother to me now. But I want to ask you about your passion. So what is your passion, Anthony?
What is my passion? I mean, I find myself asking that all the time, but I guess my true passion would be making people feel the best they can, being that I'm a hairstylist. You know, I give people instant gratification. So just making people feel good.
Speaking English.
English.
So how did you discover that?
Well, I grew up with my mom doing hair. So she's owned a salon since I was like a child. And I would go on the weekends to work there. And I think what I admired the most was just seeing her run her business, do her clients, and still go home, be a mother, and cook dinner and all of that. So I just grew up in that salon environment. And I think what I loved the most about it was like everyone would leave so happy, smiling, like feeling beautiful, confident. And I do really well with female energy. So I just felt like, I was like, okay, I can do this. This is fun. And I also just grew up like in the salon working. I would do like her towels for her when I was younger. I would, you know, in high school, I remember I'd had to like be her receptionist. So after school, I'd have to go and work there. So the salon's just been kind of part of my life.
Yeah. So you were exposed to that from such a young age. So I was going to ask you like how you feel like what your early influences were. So it sounds like your mom was a big part of that and a big part of your life.
Yeah, the funny thing is I didn't want to do hair. I wanted to go
Really?
to fashion school. I wanted to go to FIDM. I wanted to study costume design. I'm really obsessed with like Marie Antoinette, Bram Stoker's like costumes, like those crazy gowns type of costumes,
Yeah.
over the top couture.
Oh my God, I could totally see you do
Yeah.
actually still.
And my mom always told me, she's like, if you want to do that, you have to go to beauty school first. We'll pay for it. And then you can pay for your, you know, FIDM school with like the hair you make from being a hairdresser. She essentially didn't want me to do that. She wanted me to do hair and take over her business. So I fell into doing hair in the sense that I hated it. I hated beauty school. I hated beauty school. It was the worst.
What did you hate about it?
It just wasn't fun. It was very practical. You had to learn about like sanitation,
Did
diseases,
you follow the rules?
Follow the rules. And I don't follow the rules. I hate the rules. So
yeah.
But then when I finished beauty school, I moved to LA and got a really good opportunity in LA. So with all that being said, then my life unfolded out there doing hair and I fell in love with it.
So what do you think was your biggest challenge like in pursuing it fully? Like from high school till you decided to go to beauty school, was there anything that like challenges that you faced?
I mean, I think the only challenge I faced was being insecure and being that like I wasn't good enough or that maybe I wasn't, you know, going to have the clientele that I wanted or people wouldn't want to come to me. So self-sabotaging and just always feeling like not confident. Obviously that has come out the door. And
yeah, I think I think that's a common theme too. I mean, in my career and just speaking to anybody that's, followed, like taken those steps of faith to like follow their passion and to pursue it as a career. And there's always that imposter syndrome, right? Or the
Yeah.
doubt of like, can I make a living doing this? Also, if I do this full time, there's going to be parts of it that I don't love. So am I willing to risk, like this, especially if it's like your passion and you love it? Am I
Yeah.
willing to risk like maybe not loving it or not loving these parts, in order to pursue it? And I think,
Well, that was the thing. I was going into it not wanting to do it. I was doing it more for my mother.
hmm
And after moving to LA, I got a really cool job opportunity in Beverly Hills, and comparing myself to like those people there, being that I grew up in a small town up north, nothing compared to Beverly Hills. And, I'm seeing all these people with fine jewelry, beautiful handbags, expensive, like, cars. And I was just like, oh my God, like, who am I? I'm just a small town kid. Why would they come to me? And
yeah.
here we are 15 years later.
How did you overcome that comparison in your head? Like, was it something that you just worked through from just sticking with it and not quitting, or is it?
Yeah, I think through the years of assisting this guy, I got the validation that I was good enough to work in the salon, and all these clients loved me. And, I think just having a good personality too, helped me,
Oh,
just
totally.
be myself. But I think what everyone loved about me is that I was fun and I was like caring and I was just like a good time, but I also was like really good at what I did. So
Yeah.
I then knew that I was good enough or worthy to be in these rooms with these people, but also knowing that like money and all of those things, materialistic things, don't really like make you someone to fit in or like to make you confident,
Yeah, it doesn't make you happy necessarily, right? Like you hear all the time about people that have a lot of money or billionaires even, and they're unhappy inside, or they still feel like they're missing something, right? Um, so I want to hear, because I've heard this story before, but I want you to talk about it. Tell me about just that lineage, the story behind how you got that apprenticeship with, I don't know if you can say his name,
So
but
I,
because it's wild. And
it's fun.
I think the point of this story, I think, is I really want people to hear like the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into being able to have the career that you have today. Because I guess I didn't really introduce you when we started, but you have a very high A-list celebrity clientele. You have your own salon, which we'll get to that. I want to talk about that because you have some new things coming up with that. But I really want people to understand, they see where you are today, the success that you have today, but not everyone has seen the journey and the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into that.
I
And I
mean,
think it's important to.
we all start somewhere, right? So how old was I? I was 16 in high school. I didn't graduate on time. I graduated late because I was a bad kid. So I ended up going to continuation school after. After that, my mom's like, you're going to beauty school because you need to work.
Because you're a bad kid.
You're a bad kid. You're not going to.
That was like, instead of sending you off to boarding school, she sent you to beauty
Literally.
school.
She's like, instead of you not going to boarding school, you're going to beauty school and working at my salon. So I went to beauty school and I was partying a lot in LA, going to clubs. My friend Aldo lived out there, and I knew that I wanted to move to LA. I just didn't know where I wanted to live. So going out that we would be in West Hollywood all the time, I'm like, oh, cool, West Hollywood's fun. There was like a dry bar. So I was applying to dry bar after beauty school. And I was in a coffee bean in Beverly Hills, and I'm like typing my resume to send. And this girl walked in. It was like a movie, like the long hair, the sunlight behind her, this long dress. And it was like,
slow motion.
it was like, oh, and I was like, oh my God, she's so fabulous. And her color was perfect, like highlight around her face, long, wavy. And I went up to her and I was like, oh my God, your color's so pretty. Like, just wanted to compliment you. And she's like, thank you. I do hair. And I was like, oh, I do hair too. And she's like, where do you work? I was like, I'm actually just moved here and I'm looking for a job. And she's like, the guy that colors my hair actually like is looking for an assistant. I was like, great. So sent in my resume that night at 11 p.m. I get a email saying if I can come meet at the salon in Beverly Hills. I go, I had nothing to wear. So I like put on this like black button-up shirt, this black cardigan, black slacks. I look like so corporate. And I like walk into the salon, and I was early. Like, I think the salon opened at 8. I was there at 7, just waiting outside. It's so eager. And so the cleaning ladies come in. I'm like sitting there just waiting. And as I'm seeing everyone come in, it's like rocker tees and cowboy boots and like acid wash jeans and like cool haircuts. And I'm like, oh my God, I look like such a nerd. So like take my sweater off, wrap it around me. I'm like pulling up my sleeves, and I sat there for like 4 hours just waiting for this person to interview me. And I was just watching everyone.
Did you know who it was?
Yeah, it was my first mentor ever, the best. I think this is the person that taught me color and everything. His name.
But I mean, like when you were sitting there waiting,
no.
Did you know who it was? Like who you were waiting to speak to or anything?
No idea who the person was. I knew it was a male, and he did color, and I was just like waiting and waiting. And all of a sudden, this like cool guy comes up with like cowboy boots and all that. And he's like, Anthony. And I was like, oh yeah, that's me. I like get my little folder with my resume. And then he's like, come with me. And then we just start chatting. And it was on more of a personal level than like a relationship level. And he then was like, great, can you start right now? And I was like, sure. So I didn't know what I was doing. I was literally chasing 3 other assistants, figuring out what to do. And so one was shampooing. One shampooing, one is holding foils, and the other one is like doing some color technique. And I was just following him around. He's like, you're just going to follow me. So I'm following him. Like he's mixing color. I'm right there. I just was by
like
his side.
Shadow.
Yeah, his shadow. And then we worked till 1 a.m. I got $100 on the bill on the table and was like, come back tomorrow. And I was like, great. And I just kept showing up. And it wasn't so much about the finances for me. Like my mom was supporting me at the time. So it was just more of the experience. I've never seen hair like this, and like how many people would come in and the beautiful results that would come out. So I was like, this is the hair I want to do. Because at my mom's salon, we were doing like rollers and perms and like the old ladies every week sitting under the dryer. Like it just wasn't inspiring.
Totally different.
So I was like, this is the type of hair I want to do. So I worked with this guy for almost 3 years. We traveled to New York and Miami, like had the best experience working at the Marie Robinson on 5th and 22nd, then going to the Ritz-Carlton in Miami. Mind you, I'm like 20 years old, never been to the Ritz, never like, I've been to New York, but never professionally. So working at like the top salon out there on 5th Avenue at such a young age was so inspiring. After the 3 years, I was kind of capped out and I wanted to learn more. So my friend Morgan that used to work at that salon ended up going to 901.
This is in Beverly Hills?
This was, so I was working in Beverly Hills. She went over to salon in West Hollywood. They're like neighbors. So it was just like down the street. And she was like, come on in, we're hiring. I walked in. Molly interviewed me. She's like, you're hired. Can you start tomorrow? I was like, yes. So I started, and I was like, started as a general assistant, sweeping, mopping, shampooing. Then from there, Nicole picked me up, who is now my business partner.
Okay.
And I went onto the education team with her and just like was her assistant. And then I worked with Amber, then Shaylee. And then I got the opportunity to work with the owner, Nikki, who I absolutely adore. And she pretty much taught me everything from extensions, cutting, balayage, low lighting. She was just so great. And she did a lot of A-list celebrities. So with her, I would go on these like gigs to style, and they would leave me there to style them, or they would send me on these gigs. And so that's where I got to work professionally with like A-list celebrities, I would say. And then I did this like test out, as you would say. You like present 7 different hairstyles and hair colors to get on the floor there. So they ended up telling me that I passed, that I can be a stylist now. So it's like a fashion show, and you debut like a redhead, a brunette, a highlight, a haircut, a face frame, like all these hair terms. And they're like, you passed and you can now be a stylist on the floor. You just have to do the Vidal Sassoon cutting class. I did the cutting class.
Real quick. So how many years did you work there? So you were with the first apprentice for 3 years, you said? And then how many years were you?
5. So it was like 2.5 years the first year, and then 5 years here. So I assisted for like 7 years.
Wow.
And
this is before then you could basically take your own clients and then have assistants of your own, essentially?
Exactly, yeah. So I wasn't allowed to charge anyone professionally until I passed this like test. But I also assisted 5 years at 901, and I assisted 2.5 years. So under my belt, I had like 7.5 years of assisting, which that's typical in Los Angeles if you want to work with the best of the best. And so, and I also was young. I was eager.
Yeah.
I knew that when
Yeah.
I did hair, I didn't want to like fuck anyone's hair up. I didn't want to
Yeah.
like, you know, have mistakes. So I
Yeah.
wanted to go in
big
confidently.
deal.
And I was just so eager to learn everything that to me, assisting was never
Mhm.
a timeline. It was just whenever I felt ready and they felt that I was ready.
Yeah.
So my time
Oh.
came, I was 25. I was like a young stylist making so much money, killing it, taking all these walk-ins. They had this overflow of like people coming in. So I was just like doing everyone. The owner
Mhm.
also got pregnant and like went on the leave. So I was doing a lot of her clients and it was just such a great experience. And then, you know, did my 5 years there. So I spent like almost 10 years at the salon, which I am so grateful for the experience because without them, I don't know like what position I would have now. And the pandemic happened, kind of got over, you know, the salon environment type of thing. So I left and opened my own salon on Robertson, which was like a
Mhm.
prominent, desirable street.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
I'm not as familiar with LA, so um,
it's like the street. It was the street
okay.
for a while. It was
Okay.
really fabulous. It was Christian Louboutin used to be there. You have all the high end like
Mhm.
restaurants. You have Chaconi's, you have Craig's, you have Great
Mhm.
White. It's just like a really good street to be on.
Mhm.
And I did my first 5 years there on my business. And now
Mhm.
I would say 3 months ago, I left Robertson and opened a newer salon, a bigger salon.
Yeah.
And now we are in a new space. And
Yeah. I'm
here we
so
are
excited for that.
cruising, doing
So,
haircuts.
cruising, yes. So that is we're on a cruise ship right now, working. So yeah, you might hear some announcements from
Yeah.
the captain. So I'm curious. So during that time in your apprenticeship, did you ever get like impatient with like wanting to have your own clients and everything? Did you ever feel
Absolutely.
frustrated with
Totally.
not being able to make the kind of money that you felt like you were ready to make? Tell me more about.
I think at some point you think you know it all, especially being young and you've assisted and you see these people making so much money and you're getting paid a certain amount that you're like, I can do this on my own. I want to do this on my own. I can do it. But I think as much as I thought I was ready, I wasn't. So it took me to really be patient. And there were several times I wanted to quit. I mean, I wanted to quit like so many times and just go somewhere else and be a stylist. But I'm grateful I didn't because with the experience that kind of opened the doors for me and gave me the clients I have now. So, I mean, as impatient as I was, I just
Yeah.
held it out. And I mean, I was a broke assistant for so long. I'm so grateful for my parents that like supported me and
Yeah.
paid for like my life. But I also feel like the impatientness would have like sabotaged me if
Yeah.
I would have done it. And I felt like I wouldn't be where I'm at now if I would have just jumped the gun and started doing people. You know, that's how you start fucking people's hair up. You get breakage, you uneven haircuts, you just like, you don't have enough salon experience as a stylist. I had salon experience as an assistant, but not a stylist. Even though you think you're doing great, you have better years, you have worse years. So
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about that. So because I think there's different ways you can go, right, in your industry where like you can just work at a salon forever and just take clients, or you can go out the risk to go out on your own, right? And the courage that that takes. How did you find the courage to go like I want to be on my own, because that is risky. There is a lot of uncertainty with financially, right?
yeah,
And then you have so many things out of your control. Obviously, COVID was hopefully just a one off, right? And that, but yeah, like you own a business, you have to pay rent, you have a business partner, clients come and go. So tell me more about how did you know that this was the path though for you and not just to work at a salon?
I mean, I think that the pandemic really put a lot of things into perspective for like not just me, but a lot of people. And I came to realize then that I wanted full control of my life, whether it was working on my own or having my own salon. I just knew that I didn't want to answer to anyone anymore. I didn't want to like be paying someone to work at a place. I didn't want to be told when you cannot work, when you can work. I wanted to have full control of it. So I took the leap of faith in the unknown in the pandemic. I'm grateful, like I said, for my mom, who's really supported me throughout it. She's owned several businesses and she had a very successful salon of like 20 plus staff members. And she was the one like, you can do it. I'll help you. I'll support you. I will give you whatever financials you need. Like you don't need to be making other people money, essentially, was what she told me. And so I took that leap of faith. And don't get me wrong, the first year was scary. I was like struggling. I didn't know how to like market myself. I didn't have access to a lot of people I had at the old salon that had like, a whole system.
Did you have non-compete where like
No, not necessarily. We
know?
were self-contracted, but I definitely had like my clientele list in their computer system that I had no access to. So I was fortunate enough that most of them just through Instagram found me and, just I was very active with Instagram and like I have such a creative mindset that I was always posting things that I was doing. So people to follow or like send someone else and they're like, oh, we found you and things like that. But I was grateful enough to leave because with opening my own business, I've learned so much about how I want to run a business and how much I respect business owners now and how scary it is and how much goes into it. So anyone opening a business or trying to do it, I say, jump, but also have a backup plan, So if it wasn't for my mom, I'd probably still be in a comfortable space. And she was the one to push me. So I think like my support system with my family was like the biggest courage for me to jump into
so
it.
important. I think in anything that we do, especially, in life in general, right? So 2026, if somebody is wanting to have the kind of career that you have, like what kind of skill set would you say that they really need to have, or how do they need to develop to be able to have the kind of career that you have?
I think it's all about paying your dues, right? I think it's like paying your dues, learning, education, all of that's important. You can't just jump into being something that you don't know anything of. I'm so grateful for all of my mentors that have taught me everything I know. I'm so grateful for the opportunities I've had to work with people. And I think if you want to be in a position where you want to be charging a lot of money, working with great people, for instance, I'm on a cruise doing hair, with executives. It's great. It's fun. But I didn't just get this job, it's all about relationships too, being a good person, being reliable, being friendly, work well with others. I think there was a point in my life that I wasn't so much a good person or a good stylist. And, I wanted to be this diva stylist and it sabotaged a lot of opportunities for me. So then I realized, you got to humble yourself sometimes and realize, okay, we're not like, as a hairstylist, I'm not like saving lives, I'm making people feel beautiful, but it's like, I don't need to take myself that seriously to be, it's about the client and it's about them. So it's just being just humble and being that like knowing when to just, I guess, like shut up. And do your job,
the professional aspect of it, right? Yeah. It's not about you. Yeah. It's about your client.
Exactly.
So I run into the same thing with being a makeup artist. You see people that want what you have without having to work for it.
Exactly.
And nothing worth having isn't worth working for, right? And they want it overnight and they don't understand. I think also just with social media and the way the information age now, because I know for me, I got started long before there was social media, and how the makeup industry evolved is just wild. I could have never predicted that, me just loving makeup and loving seeing people like light up and fall in love with themselves, that I could have a career doing this and have the longevity that I've had. And so I get that. You have to know there's so much more to it, than just being able to cut hair or color hair. You have to have that like client experience too, and know when it's not about you proving what you can do or your artistry. It's about making sure that you're listening and you're communicating. I think communication is huge, right?
So just like humbling yourself and just knowing when to be there for the client and just be a good person and pay your dues. That's what it is. I think that if I didn't have these assistant jobs, I would have not been able to get the other jobs and
Totally. Well, and that's what builds the confidence truly, is that experience, is that journey of it. It's not the outcome. It's like the cheesiest quote. It's the journey, not the destination. But it's so true, because if also just circling it all back, bringing it all back to just what you're passionate about, at the end of the day, like you're doing something you love, all of it. Like I just feel like knowing you the way I know you now is like, you're so born to do this because you're so good and professional, but you can be that and your work is so high standard. and you hold yourself to that high standard, but you're so fun.
Yeah.
And you bring this energy to the space and to the room and to your people that you're just so real and humble, and you have like really fun stories, which I want to get to that in a second. You always just have, I feel like I've known you now 4 or 5 years.
Something's always happening.
I always hear some new story and I'm like, what? Like, tell me more about that. So I'd love for you to share in just maybe one of your biggest highlights or crazy story or something that, I don't know if you have a moment. I know I had a moment where I was like, wow, I feel like, I think when you're young and you're like, have this idea of what your career is going to be or things that you want to work on. I know for me, I was like, I moved to Miami. I loved to watch, back in the day, it was Style Network or E was like fashion shows and all that stuff.
Rachel Zoe was my jam. I was like, I'm going to be a fashion stylist. I'm going to assist like Rachel Zoe. I was so obsessed with Rachel Zoe, The Simple Life and the Osbournes that I like loved the whole like Hollywood glamour to it all. But I think where I saw myself, I didn't see myself doing hair. I saw myself as like a young kid literally doing like Marie Antoinette couture gowns and like making these cool elaborate costumes. And I loved like Halloween and dressing up, and I would make most of my costumes. So I still have that creative mindset of it. But it just so happens that I'm really naturally good at hair, and I'm, not to toot my own horn, but it's also...
Well, you should. I mean, you've earned it. And that's the thing where it's like, earned it. You earned it in the sense that you have like worked so hard, blood, sweat, and tears to have what you have today. And I think it's such a beautiful, empowering and success story that I love to share because it's possible, right? Yeah. It's possible for anyone who's passionate about something, then they want to have the kind of career that you have. But I want to hear, the story you were actually telling the story earlier about how you had to go to a client and tell them you burned their hair off, even though you weren't the one that did it.
So no,
explain it again because that's what I heard.
Once in my career, I was, still learning and didn't know. This is why I say pay the dues, learn, ask questions, take classes, know, you're dealing with chemicals, know what chemical counteracts another chemical. So I was doing this lady, long, beautiful hair. This has happened once in my career. And since then I was like, this will never happen again. And I've educated myself on it because it traumatized me. There's one thing in your career that happens that changes your career forever. And this was that. So I went in thinking like, I can master this. Long hair like yours, dark. She wanted to be white. I was like, I got this, no problem.
She wanted to like bleach it?
Like be white. Like she wanted her hair to be white, like a bleach and tone. And I was like, no worries. I was young at the time. I took on way too much than I can handle, and like way too much that I was even acknowledged in. So I did her hair and it started just falling out at the shampoo bowl, taking the photos out, literally like chunks coming out. Her hair was probably like my length at the end of it. And there's no way of hiding that all your hair broke off, right? Right. So I'm just like, I'm crying. She's panicking. Obviously she knew because like the first reaction, I was like, oh my God. And she's like, what? And I was like, oh, your hair is breaking. And she's like, what? So I'd like taken them all out and it's just falling off. And I was like freaking the fuck out. She's freaking out. We're both freaking out. I had no idea what happened. And I'm just like, I did everything right. Like I, used a lower developer. I used the foils. I was checking them. Like, I don't know what happened. And as we get to talking more and all of that, she's like, I did a relaxer like around a year ago. And I'm like, I'm sorry, wait, what? So with a chemical relaxer, it's like a perm. It's a very strong solution that kind of changes the texture to your hair. So you have to think about it. This chemical changes your pattern to your hair. It's a very strong chemical that dries your hair out and all that. It'll still look like your hair, but it's dry on the inside, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So with bleach, it counteracts and it just like snaps. It's like her hair wasn't even like light blonde. It was just snapping off from the chemical reaction to the bleach. So I panicked and her hair broke off. And it was one thing that traumatized me. I mean, I had to give her extensions for 5 years for free.
For 5 years?
I mean, we built a really good relationship after the 5 years, and we look back and we're like, oh my God, do you remember when that happened? But yeah.
You should have asked her if she had done anything like that? Or
Exactly. I mean, now I have a whole system before doing a new client. Like, when was the last time you've done this? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I should have asked more questions instead of confidently being like, I can do this.
Well, I mean, that's when like you live and learn. I mean, I remember, I'll never forget. I had total turning point moment because I was so embarrassed. I had just moved to Miami and I finally got involved in working in some video production work. And I was very serious about, getting out there. So I'm like working hard. And I had a friend from back home that came to visit with some other friends. And she was like, come out with us, in South Beach or whatever.
no.
And I was like, I have this, it was like a 3-day shoot or something. And the shoot was very low budget. Like it was in one of the hosts, like it was in her apartment and we set up this whole set.
Yeah.
It was really warm in there. It was really crowded because we had all these people. So anyway, all that to say, I decided to see this friend and go out, and I stayed out a little too late, had a little too much to drink probably.
That's happened to all of us.
And then the next day, so I show up on time and everything, but I was so exhausted the next day.
Hungover.
In the afternoon. I fell asleep during the production because I'm behind watching the monitor and everything. And it's like a lot of people, we're all crowded in there. It's like this size of room. And I remember I kept dozing off and like falling asleep. And I was like, I have to wake up. And I didn't think that anyone saw me. So I thought, okay, like free and clear, and then a couple months later, they got the opportunity to do this bigger production with a big name travel TV host. They were doing it in this huge warehouse. It was this big production.
Yeah.
And at the time, this host, she was very famous for her travel show she did. And I got passed up for the job. And I found out later it was because somebody in that room mentioned in a meeting that I fell asleep. They saw me fall asleep. I mean, and I remember though, I'm glad that this is the other thing though. I am glad that the other person gave me that feedback, that constructive criticism feedback to go, hey, like, this is why, like, we love you. It was sort of an executive decision, but this is why, this is what came up. And I remember just feeling mortified and so mad at myself because I was like, I knew I shouldn't have done that. And I thought I could do it all. And I thought I could, it would be a big deal. And it was a big deal. And it affected that. Luckily, long term, it didn't affect the relationship with that company. But you also like never know who's watching.
But that's the thing too. It's like learning from those mistakes and being better. I mean, I've made a lot of mistakes in my past. We were young, like we were learning life, right? Like we thought we can go out and do all those things. And I mean, it takes those experiences for you to be like, okay, cool. Don't do that again because that will fuck up a big opportunity for you. And I've learned the hard way with jobs being passed up, missing jobs and stuff. And I have a rule now. I mean, I don't really drink as much anymore, but I have a rule now where like, if I have something to do, I'm not going out. I don't want to go out. I don't feel like, it's like, it's not worth it. I think I've done it for so long too, but shit happens.
Yeah, you got all that partying out when you're 16.
Listen, I was euphoria, literally. What about you?
Okay. And well, really quickly, I want you to tell everybody about your new salon because it's super exciting. Is it even really open yet?
It's not open yet. We're in production.
And where are you?
My salon is on Melrose, not too far from the Fred Siegel building. If people in Los Angeles will know where that's at. So we're on a main street. So we moved over to a 1,200 square feet spot with a loft upstairs. So it's like industrial chic. And it's great. I'm excited. It's called ROW Los Angeles, and it stands for request only.
Request only, yes.
It's, we want to make it feel very boutique, private, speakeasy. And this is the thing, it's like, I have my clientele base already, so it's a home for them. So when we say request only, it's not to be like, no new friends. It's just to feel like private and, exclusive. And I take clients one-on-one. I don't really work with an assistant anymore. And so when you're in there, it's literally requesting me only for that time. So we're excited.
That.
Yeah,
I love that. I'm so happy for you.
Stay tuned.
I know it's been a journey to get to this and you're still building it out. So what do you see for yourself in the future with this? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, I see myself traveling on yachts, having Birkins, vacationing as much as, no, I'm kidding. I mean, I work so much now. So I see myself in 5 years just working even more. But I don't know. I
have to say, because I know you, like you are a workaholic. So I do have a question for you on that. And maybe it's more of a challenge for you because I know you love your work and you are so in demand, which is amazing. It's like where we all want to get to. But what do you do to balance that with self-care and like taking care of yourself? Because I know we get on these cruise ships for work and we have some probably a little more downtime than you know back home, and you're always like, oh, I catch up on my sleep, you know, when we go on these cruises. But
been napping every day since I've been on this cruise, and I think that's with me. It's like catching up on my sleep. When I'm home, I have more of a routine. Like I work all day, I go home, I go to bed by 9:30, do all my things. But I think one thing that's helped me is like working out. Even if I'm not like doing intense cardio, like going for a walk, treadmill or something, eating healthy and sleeping. Even if I need to take a nap, take a break. And I don't do this as much as I would like to, but taking time off. And like I said, my family's my biggest support system. So it's like finding 1 week out of the month to go and be with my mom and sisters for like a weekend. That always like recharges me, you know? So as much as work is in demand and business is great and my salon is going to be awesome, I can't forget who's been there since day one. And that's always something that recharges like my soul, my energy, and just everything. I can go with my mom for 2 days and sisters, and I just feel like refreshed and ready to do it all over again.
I love that. I love that you have that too. For anyone out there that is not pursuing their passion, but wants to or is afraid, what piece of advice would you give to them?
You know that saying, the grass isn't greener on the other side? Sometimes the grass is greener and it's not fake grass. It's real grass.
I love that.
Just take a leap of faith, you know, try it. I mean, the worst thing is that you fail, get kicked on the floor, and then you just pick yourself up and do it all over again and just go start. I mean, you'll never know what opportunities arise if you don't go and take the chance, right? So just take a chance. Obviously be smart about it. Don't go and like open a $600,000 salon and take out a loan. Like I would never do something like that, but I would definitely start venturing out on doing those studios or just seeing what's out there. You'd be surprised with how many clients of mine that have left their corporate jobs and done their own thing and are now like thriving and succeeding and their own boss. That's like the best freedom to have is be your own boss. Say when you want to work, when you don't want to work. So I would say just take the chance, but be smart about it. So
I mean, that's great advice. And I think in any business and any passion, totally. And I always say taking that first step of faith, even just a small baby step. And I believe that then your gift will make a way for you. You know? And then you just one day at a time or one step at a time. Okay, one more fun question. What's your serial killer trait?
Oh my God. Wow.
Your serial killer trait. So
I mean,
you probably have a few.
What does that mean?
So have you not heard?
A few? What are you trying to say? No, I've never heard
God,
it.
okay. So I saw this come through a while ago, and it's like, what's your serial killer trait? So what is it, like something weird thing you always do? Like
Eat
something?
people?
No.
I'm like a cannibal? Like what?
Like is there like a funny habitual, like that's kind of
I mean, I guess
like for instance, I saw someone say like anytime I go to someone's house, I always turn the toilet paper the other direction.
Oh,
like
got it.
Because like I
Okay.
like it to go over, but they did it under, and so I change it.
I don't know.
Or like something weird like that. That's like, there was another one I heard that was so fun.
God, that's such a good question. What would it be?
I think your serial killer trait is that you collect and obsessed with designer bags.
That's an addiction.
It's an addiction. But
I have way too many bags for a guy, so you're right. God, that's such a good question. I think that I would say it would just be that. I mean, this kind of sounds weird, but I would just sit in silence for like maybe hours at a like when I get off of work or before I'm going to work, I'll literally just sit on the couch and like stare at the wall.
Phone?
Nothing. I'm just like in my head, like thinking all these things, and I just sit there for like. I'll literally be getting ready and sit at the end of my bed and just like process everything or the day. And it'll be like 35 minutes later. And I'm like, oh shit, I gotta
zone out.
Just zone out. So
oh my God.
Maybe that's narcoleptic or something.
If you could invite anyone to dinner, to be a dinner guest, who would you invite?
Oh my God, that's such a good question.
Anyone in the world, like past, like anyone who's even dead. If you could bring it back to life.
I mean, I would say, oh my God, that's such a trick question. There's so many people I'd want at dinner. But
well, who would be at your dinner party if you could have
a few people?
Yeah.
Madonna.
Okay.
Madonna. Boy George. And there's all like music, like pop.
Yeah.
Debbie Harry from Blondie, and then because it'd just be fun, like dance party, and then like someone in the past, I would say, I don't know. Someone that was a part.
Chucky?
I think Chucky's still alive.
So Anthony loves Chucky.
I'm obsessed with
He's
Chucky.
obsessed with Chucky. He always sends these like really, really cryptic like Chucky videos or messages.
That's my serial killer
That's
trait.
your serial
I'm
killer
obsessed with like
You're
Chucky the
obsessed with
killer doll.
Chucky, yes.
I low key wanted Chucky to like talk to. I'm like, hey Chucky.
Yeah, yeah.
Ew, weird.
Totally.
Talk about serial killer. He's a serial killer.
Yeah.
Ow.
See, this is like where I wanted your real personality to come out to ask you. Okay,
Chucky.
one more. What TV or movie character do you most identify with?
Nancy
Why?
from The Craft.
What's The Craft?
You've never seen The Craft?
Oh, is it scary?
Yes.
I don't watch
It's
scary movies. I don't
4
like
girls in
anxiety.
high school. They're witches. And Nancy is a crazy psycho bitch. And she gets all the powers and just becomes evil and psycho. But there's like this like kind of like lead powerful role that she has. And she was just to me so iconic because she was just so fucking crazy.
That's who you identify with most?
Oh, not identify. Like that's who I guess.
So it's
I would
like,
identify.
yeah, like who do you see yourself as like you most identify with as far as a
Chucky.
character?
Like, what do you
With the
mean?
scissors.
Yeah.
In your Dior bag.
Can you imagine? No, I
You just
mean,
need
I
to tie
can't.
your
I
hair
don't
in.
know that I can answer that question because there's so many people in periods of my time that I would say I related to that person. But
If you could have a blend, then
a blend,
blend
it
of a
would be Emily Blunt from The Devil Wears Prada
oh yeah,
in my assistant era,
Yeah.
right? And then I would say I would be Regina George from like high school.
Mean Girl.
Mean Girl. And then always like the sassy one, you know?
Yeah, you're very. Sassy.
And then Isla Fisher in Confessions of a Shopaholic.
Oh my god, I love that movie.
Yeah, because I have a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, you do. Big time. It's not a little bit. It's a lot.
Oh, and what's her name? Brittany Murphy. And that was it with the when she was young.
The one was that
Made in
was that
Manhattan? No, that was J
Oh,
Lo.
that was J-Lo.
Are you talking about Girl Interrupted? Brittany
Oh
Murphy?
yeah.
No.
Was she in that?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
She was with like Al Fanning. She was like young. They were living in New York. She was like her nanny.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
So wow, you're so eclectic. I love you so much.
Love you.
Thank you for cutting my hair. And I only let Anthony cut my hair now.
Stay tuned.
So I only get it cut once every 6 months. Actually, no, we're gonna change
Sad.
that. But so
I know, I see you
now
more-
He's gonna blow dry me. So stay tuned. Maybe we'll take a picture
a little
and show it.
after.
And then I will post in the show notes how to get a hold of you, how to follow you. So
Bye.
bye. Love you.